Why we talk too much. In our daily lives, many of us speak far more than we realize. We fill quiet spaces with small chatter. We share our opinions even when no one is really asking, and we complain when life doesn't unfold the way we want. At first glance, all this talking may seem harmless. After all, communication is natural, isn't it? But if we pause and observe carefully, we may notice something deeper. The more we talk, the more our energy scatters. Think about it. How often have you said something in the heat of the moment, only to regret it later? How often have misunderstandings grown? Not because of ill intention, but simply because too many words were spoken too quickly. Words are powerful. They can heal and uplift, but when spoken carelessly, they can wound, confuse, or drain both ourselves and others. There's a saying in the Buddhist tradition, silence is a kind of wisdom. This does not mean we should suppress our voice, nor does it mean we must avoid communication altogether. Instead, it points us to a different way of relating to speech. Silence, when practiced with awareness, is not repression. It is not about forcing ourselves to hold everything inside. Rather, it is about choosing wisely, recognizing when words are needed, and when silence itself carries more clarity, more compassion, and more truth. Imagine your mind as a clear lake. When we talk endlessly, it is as if stones are constantly being thrown into the water, creating ripples and waves that disturb its surface. In such a state, it's hard to see our reflection clearly, and it's even harder to see the world with accuracy. But when we allow moments of quiet, the water settles, the ripples fade, and clarity naturally appears. This is what silence can offer us, an opportunity for our mind to become steady, focused, and strong. It's also helpful to notice the intention behind our speech. So often we speak because we feel uncomfortable with silence itself. Perhaps we fear being judged if we don't contribute to a conversation. Perhaps we're trying to seek attention, approval, or comfort through our words. But here's something worth reflecting on. Is it really the words that bring connection, or is it the sincerity of our presence? Many times, the most powerful moments of understanding happen not through what is said, but through simply being present, listening deeply, and holding space for another person. The Buddha often reminded his disciples that mindful speech is part of the path to liberation. Right speech, one of the factors of the Noble Eightfold Path, encourages us to use words that are truthful, kind, and beneficial. Yet he also emphasized knowing when to remain silent. In fact, silence itself can be a form of right speech, when speaking would cause more confusion than clarity or more harm than benefit. This doesn't mean we must become cold, withdrawn, or distant. On the contrary, practicing mindful silence allows us to become more genuine when we do speak. Our words become fewer, but they carry greater weight. They come from a place of reflection, steadiness, and care, like water drawn from a deep, clear well. So perhaps the question is not, how can I speak less, but rather, how can I speak with wisdom? And part of that wisdom lies in knowing that silence, too, can be a profound teacher. When we give ourselves permission not to fill every silence with words, we begin to discover a hidden power. Our energy is no longer scattered in endless chatter. Instead, it gathers inward, strengthening our focus, sharpening our awareness, and nurturing our inner stability. This is the beginning of transforming silence from something empty into something full of meaning. Silence becomes a mirror, showing us the state of our own mind. Silence becomes a shelter, protecting our energy, and silence becomes a field of growth, where our focus deepens and our strength quietly expands. So as we continue into this teaching, let us hold this reflection in our hearts. Learning when not to speak is not a loss, but a gain. It is not a weakness, but a strength. And it is not isolation, but connection to our own mind and to the truth that is often heard most clearly in stillness. Thank you for beginning this journey with me. As we move forward, we'll explore how silence, practiced with mindfulness, can become a path of focus and power in our daily lives. Silence as a discipline of speech. Silence, in the way the Dharma teaches it, does not mean closing our mouth forever, nor does it mean avoiding all communication. Rather, it is a discipline, a conscious way of using speech with wisdom and compassion. Think for a moment about how often we speak in a single day. We greet people, share ideas, express frustrations, complain about small inconveniences, or give our opinions even when no one is asked. Words flow almost automatically, like a stream that never stops. But when speech is unexamined, it can easily become careless. And careless speech, though unintentional, can wound others, scatter our own energy, and create unnecessary suffering. In the teachings of the Buddha, right speech is one of the steps on the Noble Eightfold Path. This path is not simply a philosophy, but a guide to live with clarity and peace. Right speech encourages us to speak what is truthful, what is helpful, and what is spoken at the right time. Notice that truth alone is not enough. Words can be factually true, yet spoken in a way or at a moment that causes harm. That is why silence is so essential in this discipline. Sometimes the kindest and wisest thing we can do is to remain quiet. There is a simple but profound wisdom. Not every truth needs to be spoken, and not every opinion needs to be shared. Consider an example. If a friend is deeply upset, and you see that part of their pain comes from their own misunderstanding, is it always the right moment to correct them? Perhaps in that moment, silence and gentle presence bring more healing than words ever could. Later, when the heart is calm, the truth can be shared in a way that is actually received. Think also of the times when words slip out of our mouth, and afterwards we regret them. Perhaps we spoke in anger, or we try to fill a silence with unnecessary chatter. In these moments, we learn that speech has power to create connection, but also power to divide. Every word we say plants a seed, and that seed can grow into trust or into conflict. Silence, then, is not an emptiness. It is an act of choice. It is like pausing before writing with ink on paper. Once the ink touches the page, it cannot be erased completely. Words, too, leave traces in the hearts of others. By pausing in silence, even for a breath, we give ourselves space to ask, is this word true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? And is this the right time to say it? When we cultivate this discipline, our speech becomes lighter, clearer, and more meaningful. People begin to trust our words because they know we do not speak carelessly. Our presence grows stronger because we're no longer scattering our energy through constant talking. Silence, practiced in this way, is not about suppression. It is not about holding back what needs to be said. Rather, it is about learning to listen to the moment, to others, and to the quiet wisdom within ourselves. In this way, silence is a deep form of compassion. By choosing when to speak and when to remain silent, we protect others from unnecessary harm and protect our own mind from restlessness. And slowly, we discover that the fewer but wiser words we use carry much more strength than 1,000 words spoken without care. Focus grows when words are few. When we speak less, we create space for focus. Every unnecessary word is like scattering seeds into the wind. Our attention, our energy becomes divided. Think for a moment of a lamp. When the glass around it is clear, the light shines in one steady direction. But if the glass is cracked or dusty, the light scatters, becoming weaker and less effective. In the same way, our speech, when excessive, careless, or constant, scatters the light of our awareness. We may still be shining, but not with clarity or strength. Yet when we begin to practice silence, even in small ways, something remarkable happens. We start to notice more. In meetings, when others are eager to speak, the quiet observer often sees the dynamics more clearly. In family conversations, the one who listens deeply often understands not just the words, but the emotions hidden beneath them. And in our daily lives, whether waiting in line or sitting with a friend, it is silence that allows us to sense the subtle rhythms of human interaction. This is why the Dharma teaches that silence sharpens our listening. And listening, true listening, is the foundation of focus. Often, when we think of focus, we imagine effort, forcing the mind to concentrate, pushing distractions away. But in truth, focus is not always created by force. It grows naturally in stillness, like a clear pond that reflects the sky only when the ripples settle. When words are few, the ripples in our mind begin to settle. We no longer feel the urge to fill every gap with speech or to prove our knowledge by adding one more opinion. Instead, we can rest in awareness, allowing insights to rise gently without being pushed or pulled by constant chatter. This practice does not mean withdrawing from the world or becoming silent in all situations. Rather, it means learning the art of restraint, the wisdom to know when speaking serves clarity and when silence serves focus. Think of it like pruning a tree. Too many branches prevent the sunlight from reaching the core. But if we carefully trim away the unnecessary, the tree grows stronger and healthier. In the same way, by reducing unnecessary words, we give strength to the words that truly matter. Our speech becomes like a well-aimed arrow, clear, steady, and effective. Silence also nurtures another kind of focus, the ability to listen inwardly. Most of us are so busy speaking, so quick to respond, that we rarely pause to notice what is happening inside ourselves. In silence, we begin to hear the quieter voices, the gentle intuition, the subtle feelings, the wisdom that often lies beneath the noise of our thoughts. And perhaps the greatest gift of silence is this: it teaches us presence. When we're not constantly speaking, we are free to simply be, to notice the warmth of sunlight on the skin, the tone in someone's voice, or the breath moving in and out. These small moments of awareness, repeated again and again, gather into the strength of true focus. So when we speak less, we do not lose anything. We gain space, clarity, and the ability to listen deeply. And from that listening, focus naturally grows, steady, grounded, and undistracted. Silence, then, is not emptiness. It is the fertile ground in which the seeds of concentration and wisdom can take root. The hidden power in restraint. True power does not come from dominating arguments or from forcing our opinions onto others. It does not arise from being the loudest voice in the room or from having the last word in a heated debate. Instead, real strength is revealed in our ability to hold back, to conserve, and to choose wisely when and how we use our energy. Every word we speak requires energy. Think about this for a moment. The mind must form the thought, the body must move to express it, and the emotions become stirred in the process. Sometimes, in the rush of a conversation, we do not realize how much energy is being spent simply to prove a point or to show that we are right. Yet at the end of such exchanges, instead of feeling lighter, we often feel drained. Silence, on the other hand, is like storing energy in a safe place. By practicing restraint, we are not suppressing ourselves. We are choosing to protect our strength for the moments that truly matter. It is like water in a reservoir. When rain falls, the water is collected, not immediately poured out. It is kept quietly and steadily until the time of need arrives. Then, when the crops are dry or the people are thirsty, that stored water becomes life-giving. In the same way, when we conserve our words, we gather a quiet power inside. And when the right moment comes, our words carry weight, nourishment, and clarity. We can observe this in daily life. Consider someone in a meeting who speaks constantly, filling every pause with words. Over time, the voice may blur into the background. Now think of another person who speaks sparingly, but when they finally do, their words land with presence and seriousness. The difference lies not in the volume, but in the restraint, the careful conservation of energy. Restraint does not mean passivity. It is not about avoiding communication or refusing to participate. Instead, it is about mindful choice. Just as a skilled archer does not release every arrow at once, but waits for the right moment to strike the target, we too can learn to hold our words until the timing is right. Then, our voice carries precision, not waste. This quiet strength is steady and calm. It does not need to shout to be heard. In fact, its power often lies in the contrast. When one remains composed amidst noise, their presence itself speaks volume. Such strength is far more lasting than the energy of heated arguments. A loud voice may win attention in the moment, but it rarely leaves a deep imprint. Restraint, however, creates respect and lasting influence. The Dharma reminds us that the mind, when scattered, is weak, but when gathered, it is powerful. The same principle applies to speech. Words scattered carelessly deplete our energy. Words chosen with restraint become a channel for wisdom and compassion. So the next time you feel the urge to rush into argument, pause for a breath. Ask yourself, is this the moment to spend my energy, or is this a moment to keep it within? By practicing restraint, you will discover a hidden reservoir of power inside you. Quiet, calm, and far stronger than noise could ever be. The trouble caused by too many words. When we speak too much, problems naturally follow. Our words, once released, are like arrows leaving the bow. Once they fly, they cannot be recalled. Think about the moments in life when we have spoken hastily, perhaps in a heated discussion, perhaps when emotions were running high, or maybe just in casual conversation where we didn't pause to reflect? How often have those words led to regret? How often have they planted seeds of misunderstanding or even caused pain to someone we care about? The Buddha reminded us of the practice of right speech, to speak what is true, kind, and beneficial. But when our mouths are constantly busy, when every silence is quickly filled, it becomes difficult to maintain this discipline. The more we talk, the easier it is for careless words to slip through, like water spilling from an overfilled cup. Excessive speech often leads to gossip. It may begin as something small, perhaps sharing a detail about another person's life, not with harmful intent, but simply to fill space in the conversation. Yet, once the words are passed on, they take on a life of their own. What started as casual chatter can grow into stories, exaggerations, and conflicts. Gossip is like a spark in dry grass, seemingly harmless at first, but capable of igniting a fire that spreads far beyond our intention. Too many words also bring misunderstanding. When we explain and explain without pause, our meaning becomes clouded rather than clear. Imagine a glass of water. Drop a single pebble in, and the ripples are gentle, easy to follow. But throw in handfuls of stones, and the surface becomes chaotic, distorted, difficult to read. Speech works the same way. A few thoughtful words can be understood, but endless words blur the message. And then there is regret. Perhaps we have all had this experience. After a conversation, we lie awake at night, replaying the words we wish we had not said. Words spoken in anger, words that dismissed someone's feelings, or words that revealed too much. Silence in these moments would have been the greater wisdom. It is far easier to hold back a word than to undo its damage once spoken. This is why silence is such a gentle protector. It prevents problems before they even arise. It is like closing the gate before the wild horse escapes, rather than trying to chase it across the fields once it has run free. Practicing silence does not mean withdrawing from others or refusing to communicate. It simply means speaking with awareness, knowing that each word carries weight, each sentence leaves an imprint. When we reduce unnecessary speech, we reduce unnecessary trouble. So the next time you feel the urge to speak quickly, pause for just a breath. Ask yourself, is this helpful? Is it kind? Is it truly needed right now? If the answer is no, perhaps silence is the better choice. In silence, there is safety. In silence, there is wisdom. Practical ways to practice silence. Silence, when practiced with the right intention, is not about suppressing ourselves. It is not about becoming cold or distant. Rather, it is about creating space for clarity, for understanding, and for wisdom to arise. So how can we bring this practice of silence into the small details of daily life? One gentle way is to choose a period of time each day when we deliberately avoid unnecessary speech. It could be an hour in the morning before work or in the evening before bed. During this time, we don't need to forcefully stop ourselves from speaking, but we simply notice, is what I am about to say really needed? If it isn't, we let it go. This is like giving our mind a short retreat, a chance to breathe, to reset, to recover from the constant noise of daily living. Another helpful practice is to pause before speaking. Just a short pause, even a single breath, can make a great difference. Many of us are used to reacting instantly. Someone asks us a question, and words rush out before we even consider their weight. But when we take a small pause, we allow our words to be more thoughtful, more aligned with kindness. The pause becomes a space of freedom, where we can choose not just what to say, but how to say it. There's a simple reflection we can use in these moments. Before speaking, quietly ask ourselves 3 questions. Is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it the right time? If our words do not meet at least one of these conditions, perhaps silence would serve better. Imagine, for example, you're in a conversation with a friend. They share something that frustrates you, and you feel the urge to reply sharply. In that moment, if you pause and reflect, you may realize this reaction is not kind, nor is it necessary right now. By choosing silence, you're not losing anything. In fact, you are protecting harmony and preserving your inner calm. We can also treat silence as an act of care, not as a punishment. Think of it as giving your mind a warm cup of tea, a chance to sit, settle, and restore its balance. Silence nurtures the mind the way rest nurtures the body. Just as we need sleep to recharge, our words too need spaces of quiet so that when they arise, they carry clarity and weight. In daily life, practicing silence doesn't mean we must avoid people or withdraw from the world. It simply means we choose our words more wisely. Sometimes silence may look like just listening with full attention. Sometimes it is simply smiling instead of responding. And sometimes it is walking quietly, enjoying the present moment without needing to fill it with commentary. As we continue this practice, we may discover something beautiful. Silence itself becomes a source of strength. It is no longer empty or awkward. It feels alive, nourishing, and deeply supportive. We realize that silence is not about withholding, but about offering space for others, offering peace to ourselves, and offering clarity to the moment. So let silence be a gentle companion, not a burden. Allow it to protect your energy, to refine your speech, and to open the door to a calmer, clearer way of living. Silence creates space for deeper understanding. When we stop talking, something very subtle, yet very beautiful, begins to unfold. In the rush of daily life, our words often fill every gap. We speak quickly, we respond immediately, we explain, defend, or persuade. But when we set aside speech, even for a short while, a new dimension of awareness begins to appear. Think about the last time you sat in a quiet place, perhaps a garden, a temple hall, or even your own room in the early morning. At first, the silence may have felt empty, almost unsettling. But after a while, you probably began to notice things you would usually overlook: the soft movement of the air, the distant sound of a bird, or the natural rhythm of your own breath. In the same way, when we practice silence in daily life, we begin to notice not only the world around us, but also the inner world within us. Our thoughts become clearer. Emotions that were buried under constant chatter rise gently to the surface, where we can observe them with calm awareness. This is not about suppressing thoughts or trying to block emotions. Instead, it is like allowing muddy water to settle. If we keep stirring the water, it remains cloudy. But if we set the bowl down and let it rest, slowly, the particles sink and the water becomes clear. In silence, our mind works in the same way. Silence also opens the door to empathy. When we're not rushing to speak, we naturally listen more deeply. We hear not just the words of others, but also the pauses, the hesitations, the emotions beneath their voices. Sometimes, what a person does not say is more important than what they do say. To notice this requires patience, presence, and quiet attention. In Buddhist practice, this quality of listening is closely related to wisdom. Wisdom is not gained by collecting endless information or winning arguments. True wisdom arises from understanding, and understanding requires space that silence provides. Think of two people in a conversation. One talks endlessly, filling every moment with words. The other listens with quiet presence, who will walk away with deeper insight. Very often, it is the listener. Words may impress, but silence absorbs and reflects. This is why many great teachers throughout history have emphasized the value of silence. Not because silence itself is holy, but because it creates the conditions for clarity and compassion to arise. When we allow silence into our daily life, even for a few moments, we give ourselves and others a precious gift, the gift of space. In that space, understanding blossoms naturally. So, the next time you find yourself ready to speak, pause for just a moment. Ask yourself, is speaking necessary here, or will silence serve better? Sometimes, the quiet presence of a calm heart speaks louder than 1,000 words. Living with quiet strength. Let's pause for a moment and reflect together. What does true strength look like? In our world today, strength is often mistaken for volume. Who can argue the loudest? Who can speak the most? Who can dominate a room with words? But in the Dharma, strength is not measured by noise. True strength is calm, steady, and unshaken. Think of a great mountain. It does not need to shout to prove its presence. It simply stands unmoved by storms, rooted deep into the earth. In the same way, the one who speaks less is not weak. They're like the mountain, firm and composed. When we practice speaking less, we are not diminishing ourselves. We are not withdrawing from life. Instead, we are showing maturity, discipline, and inner power. It is easy to speak quickly. It takes real strength to hold our words, to choose them with care, and to let silence carry what does not need to be said. In daily life, we can begin this practice in very small ways. Perhaps, during a heated discussion, you take one conscious breath before replying. That breath becomes a shield, protecting you from reacting out of anger. Or maybe, when you feel the urge to interrupt, you soften and allow the other person to finish. In that moment, you are not giving in, you're practicing quiet strength. Another way is to bring silence into our daily routines. For example, while preparing a meal, try cooking without background noise. Listen instead to the simple sounds of chopping vegetables, the boiling of water, the fragrance rising from the pot. This ordinary silence nourishes the heart. It reminds us that life does not always need commentary. It can simply be experienced. Through these small practices, you will notice something changing inside. Your mind becomes more focused, less scattered. Your heart grows more steady, less shaken by the noise of the world. And over time, people around you will feel it too. They will sense the calmness in your presence, and your quiet strength will become a gift to them as well. This is not about suppressing yourself. It is about expressing yourself in a wiser, gentler way. Silence, when practiced with awareness, is not emptiness. It is fullness. It is space for clarity, compassion, and wisdom to grow. So, let us remember, to live with quiet strength is not to be weak. It is to embody maturity, discipline, and an inner power that no one can take away. Thank you for walking with me through this reflection. May the simple practice of silence bring you peace, focus, and a steady strength that carries you through life's challenges. Please look forward to the next episode of the Buddha Light Podcast. Until then, may your days be calm and your heart be strong.